Yo, how's it going, yo? Today I'm gonna be showing y'all how to make a jazzy, piano type beat, like a Zaytoven type beat. So I'm gonna just get right into it, make it real simple. So here's the piano I started out with right here. Um, if anyone like needs some advice on how to make these type piano melodies, I would just advise you don't even have to learn how to play the keys perfectly. Just just get a feel for them, and then you could click stuff in and then record it, and then later on, you can fix what you need to fix. Cause that's what I did here. Cause there's no way I could play nothing like this, but you know, I could still do it. It's gonna take some time. You just gotta figure it out. But so here's the piano. And then after I added the piano, I wanted something to accent it, so I added this organ right here. And this is a pretty basic organ. It just kind of has some. I didn't do any rolls. Zaytoven loves them rolls, but I didn't add no rolls here. I probably could have, probably would have made it better. But here's the organ. So after I added that, I was like, all right, I don't need to add too much with these beats, because you really want the drums to be able to hit on these. And whenever you have these crazy pianos, doing all these walk downs and stuff like that, you don't need nothing too crazy. So I just added some strings just so I could, make it thick and give it some movement. And then after I added the strings, I love this mini post right here by this Zaylead that everybody knows this Zaylead. It's in countless of his beats. And I try not to use it in every Zay beat I make, but it's kind of hard because this really is one of my favorite sounds of all time. But yeah, I added this right after the strings. So after I added that lead, I was like, all right, let me just add some more strings, but I'm gonna just layer them this time, just so I can make the strings sound a little bit thicker, but still keep the same vibe I had, just bigger. So here's what that sounded like with the other strings. And then this instrument, I had added this flute after I already had pretty much completed the drums, but I was listening to Forever Ever by Future, produced by Zaytoven, and I heard that flute, and I was like, dang, maybe I should add a flute to mine, just cause I already took a lot of inspo from that beat, and I added the flute, and the flute's very basic, and it only plays the first 5 bars. It's not an all 9 bar thing, but here's what that one sounds like. So then now I'll just start with the drums. Start off with the 808. For the 808, it's very basic. I don't want to have the 808 hit too much because I really wanted the drums to be able to speak because Zay likes to go crazy with the drums, and so that's kind of what I wanted to go with. So I laid down a pretty basic 808. And then for the hi hat, just a basic 2 step. I didn't even add any randomizer to it, which is kind of crazy, but it's whatever. And then obviously the generic, the 3 and a 7 on the clap. And then here's one of the first snare I added. The first snares I added it's the preach snare. You know, as you probably heard in preach, and you know plenty of other Zay beats. And then after I added that, I kind of just added a couple more snares, and I like to go for the triplets. I feel like Zay likes the triplets a lot, so I tried to, you know, incorporate a lot of triplets with the snares on this beat. So that's why, you know, you see triplets on the snares. And then this final snare I added right here is probably the snare that has the most hits, but you'll recognize this snare too for the most part, just because it's, you know, you'll recognize it. And then so after I added that, you know, I was making the beat and I realized I gotta add this signature sound right here. So I just added one of them, you know. And then I ended up, I added two chants. They both play at the same time, and I just kind of layered them. And so here's what the first chant sounds like. And then the second one, I just layered this reverb one right under it. And then I had to add, you know, the clear morning bell. Obviously, the Zay bell, you know, everybody, you gotta add this in a Zay beat. You know, you gotta add this in a Zay beat. And then finally, I just added it. I added the regular Zay crash. You know, got it just at the beginning, you know, just to hit. And then after the 5 bar, I added it right here, just because I didn't want to hit at the same time as the bell and make it sound cluttered. You know, I wanted the crash and the bell both to hit and be their own kind of. I just didn't want to layer it. I don't like the way it sounded. So here's what the melody sounds like all together. I don't have some of the sounds playing at the same time throughout this beat, so it might sound a little weird. But I'm just showing y'all what it sounds like all together, and then whenever I play the final beat, you'll hear how it's arranged at the very end. Alright, y'all, that's gonna wrap up the video. I appreciate y'all if y'all made it this far. You know, if this video does well, you know, make sure to comment and let me know if I should do more videos like this, you know, more Zay beat tutorials. And yeah, I'm gonna just let this one ride.